In the early 2010s, Facebook was widely regarded as the ultimate platform for connecting with friends, sharing life's moments, and staying up to date with what mattered. It gave the public access to a vast interconnected world where you could engage with people, news, and ideas like never before. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Today, Facebook has a reputation for being little more than a platform where people play out their curated, filtered lives, focusing on likes and shares, rather than genuine connection.
Well, social media has essentially taken human connection and turned it into a drug by distilling it down to the essential properties that make something addictive.
It's become a place for influencers and brands to dominate, while the average user gets buried in ads and irrelevant content.
I was all over Facebook and Instagram. It was just getting a little bit out of control. So with everything going on in the news with Facebook and all these privacy scandals, it was already top of mind for me that I should take a break.
So who is going to own the Facebook content? The person who puts it there, or you?
The person who's putting the content on Facebook always owns the information, and that's why this is such an important thing, and why Facebook is such a special service that people feel a lot of ownership over. Right? This is their information; they own it.
And you won't sell it?
They often want to. No, of course not. I mean, they want to share it with only a few people. Right? I might upload a photo on that I only want to share with.
Whether it's due to Facebook's lack of real moderation or the growing concerns about how they handle user privacy and data, it's clear the platform has lost its way. The endless scandals about how they mishandle user information and stifle meaningful conversations have become impossible to ignore. It has undeniably gone from connecting people to just serving up thoughts and posts no one asked for. What was once a space for real conversations now feels like a never-ending feed of viral nonsense and endless ads. Facebook actually goes back to 2004, when a young man named Mark Zuckerberg wanted to connect college students across the country. What started as a simple idea to bring people together quickly grew into the largest social network in the world.
Do you think of Facebook as a media company?
I think about it more as a technology company, because on a day-to-day basis, what we're doing is building technology.
Initially, Facebook aimed at connecting people in meaningful ways, allowing them to share moments, ideas, and interests. It was created as a platform for social interaction, a space where users could communicate, stay informed, and build relationships. The first version of Facebook was a groundbreaking concept that fundamentally reshaped how people engaged with the digital world. By the early 2010s, Silicon Valley has become the tech hub of the world, and Facebook was pretty much their official social platform. With billions of users, it became the go-to space for connecting, sharing, and building communities. A small but devout group of Facebookers would post updates, share their lives, and engage in discussions, helping fuel the platform's explosive growth and cementing Facebook as the social media giant it is today.
Instead of building walls, build bridges. And instead of dividing people, we can help bring people together. Bring people together. Bring people together.
What's the long-term future for Facebook? I mean, you're going to have to make money at some point. Is it purely from advertising? Is it from exploiting the data?
Well, I mean, it's certainly. I mean, right now it looks like it's going to be from advertising, right? And I think that we have, a really good business that's being built there. Certainly not from exploiting data in a way that like that people don't want it to be shared.
This has been Mark Zuckerberg's dream all along. But things were just getting started. Public figures began to see Facebook in a whole new light, not just for staying in touch with friends, but as a way to present themselves as more relatable and authentic to consumers.
Not cold. Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, we've seen it all. Celebrities and influencers posting their genuine moments, like Ice Bucket Challenge. Facebook became a stage for people to curate their public image, whether it was about activism or sharing meaningful personal experiences. Facebook groups and pages were pretty great for a while, but very soon, things took a turn for the worst. The biggest red flag was right there from the start: the overwhelming rise of sponsored content and ads. All these issues, strongly tied to the skyrocketing rise in Facebook ads, led to a massive increase in user dissatisfaction, one of the main reasons why Facebook sucks now. First, regular users, the ones who just wanted to check posts from friends and family, stay updated on news, or see content from their favorite pages, were suddenly bombarded with an overwhelming amount of ads and sponsored posts. Stuff they didn't like, didn't ask for, and didn't follow. Now that's just annoying. But on the other side of the coin, the people paying for those ads, businesses, content creators, entrepreneurs, were just as frustrated. They were spending money to promote their content, only to realize that their ads weren't even reaching the audience they had specifically targeted. It's terrible algorithm, not just in how it fails to show users content that actually matches their interests and personal data. We'll get to that later. But more importantly, how bad it is at filtering sensitive content.
When you have kids in an environment like that, and you have, instead of, they're soliciting what information they want and getting, having to be a tool instead of having to be a thing that's just like, force feeding them content and advertisements. What we find is, you can start by looking for healthy recipes, and the algorithm will push you towards pro eating disorder content. Or you start looking at a little bit of eating disorder content, it starts pushing you to self-harm content. And what's really terrifying about these things is it's not like Facebook set out and said, we want to build an app, we're going to build an algorithm that pushes kids towards dangerous topics. It's that the algorithm, it's flat, right? It's completely agnostic to what content is. It doesn't understand significance because it's a dumb computer. All it knows is people who expressed this interest click more, they dwell more, they reshare more, they comment more on this kind of content. And it ends up being this little escalator.
For some reason, Facebook's algorithm prioritizes censoring bad words or slurs over actually removing things that should be banned, like explicit pornography or extremely graphic violent content. Come on, man, think of the kids.
Meta with Facebook, what do they all want? They want people to spend more time on their service than anywhere else. So attention is the key metric. Doesn't matter if it's good attention, bad attention. They do not care about sentiment. They don't care if you are having a good time on social media and seeing good content or you're seeing bad content. As long as you're seeing content and you're spending more time.
So if Joey said something offensive and I've found it offensive and I've engaged with it by replying to him or forwarding it as an example of offensive content, the algorithm goes, loving this.
Loving this.
This doesn't just lead to bad content recommendations. It means that inappropriate, disturbing material is being shown to minors and people who should absolutely not be seeing it.
Feel like it's a backlash, or do you feel like you're violating people's privacy? Do you feel like you're adequately portrayed as a, because they want to wonder about the person who actually created this thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh, why can't he just say yes? That's how I intend to make money, by selling people's privacy, instead of... The world exploded in outrage when it was revealed that Facebook was exploiting users' privacy data, not just for profit, but also as a tool to collect information and hand it over to companies.
Facebook itself facing a record fine. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission has reportedly approved a roughly $5 billion settlement against the social media giant. Now, this follows an investigation into privacy violations and comes on the heels of the Cambridge Analytica revelations last year.
So it's unlikely to feel like financial strain to the get. This is not even close to a mosquito bite or even a parking fine for Facebook. Facebook has changed from recent years.
So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
These changes are mainly related to the publication of information and freedom of expression, making the platform more flexible regarding the topics that can be discussed. Now, discussions about subjects like gender diversity, immigration, and other controversial topics will be allowed. They also introduced a community notes system, similar to the one on Twitter or X, where users themselves can flag posts that contain misleading information or fake news. Contrary to what many might think, Facebook is still a widely used platform, but not for the purposes it was originally conceived for, or the ones that the most popular social networks today like Instagram or Twitter have. While both of these social networks have slightly different audiences, their purpose is to connect people and keep up with the personal and private lives of friends and family. Facebook has found its role in today's world, and although many wouldn't believe it, it still has a portion of young users who don't fit the profile we typically imagine when we hear that someone uses Facebook. A social network that is now mostly associated with older people. But Facebook has a huge community outside of the older age groups. Its main focuses today are Facebook Marketplace, which has allowed many people to connect with each other and has made it easier to buy and sell secondhand products. While platforms dedicated exclusively to this already existed, like eBay, Facebook Marketplace made the process even more convenient by integrating it directly into the social network. Many others also use Facebook to keep in touch with faraway relatives, particularly older generations who predominantly use the platform. For some, it's memories and photos, spending time on Facebook looking through years of photos and memories, allowing users to revisit old posts and images that hold sentimental value. Well, the Messenger is kind of a place to store all contacts. It's much more convenient that way. Facebook groups are especially valuable to some users for staying connected to specific communities. Examples include school groups, mom groups, and local buy-sell trade groups. These groups offer a practical way to share information, find resources, or participate in local activities, which is especially appealing to those seeking more targeted interaction. Other than these, users don't pretty much use the platform at all, and this has led to the fall of what was once the biggest and most used social network of all time. It's honestly sad to see how the social network that raised me and millions of others is now just another platform with little real use as an actual social network. We end this message from Mark Zuckerberg.
So I want to thank you all for being part of making this possible. You really have created a worldwide movement.